That's right. Not my boy, David Pakman, decided he would make a video titled "Lawsuit for Defamation?" Time to sue?
Well, I hate to start a show like this, but I do
Does he start every show with "I hate to talk about this"?
have to talk today about a defamation lawsuit. After Wired published a piece last week that made a number of untrue allegations and implications about me and other creators, claiming I'm taking money in exchange for letting someone dictate the content of this show or
That's not what they said.
restrict what I'm talking about, and many other claims and implications. A whole
The contract that Wired reviewed said that they had the ability to get you to remove videos and that they had the ability to get you to not talk about or talk to certain people without approval first. Just because your show happened to not have any intervention, I think is what he's alleging, from Chorus doesn't mean that that's not what the contract said.
bunch of you wrote to me and said, David, are you going to sue for defamation? Suing for defamation and winning is really the way to take control back and to prove that you didn't do the things you're accused of. Now, it's a fair question, and I want to talk about that today. I didn't even plan on mentioning this entire fiasco again, but it really has taken on a life of its own. So I'm going to get to the am I suing for defamation?
By the way, the craziest thing about all of this is if he had just like owned up to the fact that he didn't say that he was accepting that money, no one would still be talking about this. If he just gone on and said, hey, I just want everyone to know, I would never accept money that would change how I would normally talk and what I would talk about. And the contract that I signed wasn't going to change anything that I talked about because I would just never take a contract like that. I do apologize for taking any money at all without that required me to not disclose it, and I'd be sure not to do that in the future. But I just want you to know that, like, that is not, if that contract in any way ended up making me have to change my content, I would not be signed with them for very long.
Defamation question in a moment, but I also want to lay out a few other things. You know, the saddest part for me in all of this is that even though, after the first 48 hours, the overwhelming majority of my audience members and fellow creators and others realize there's really no story here. Like it's not even just the allegations and implications are untrue. It's just there's not even really a story here. Most people realize that. Way more people always see the original allegations and they never see the corrections. And that's something we're going to deal with in a moment as well. The hardest part is that some people who have trusted me for years have now canceled their memberships on
That's so sad that they didn't want to take money, or sorry, to give money to a guy who's still lying to their face.
my website because they wrongly believe the DNC tells me what to say, or that Chorus makes me get permission before I cover a topic, or that my opinions 2 years ago were shaped by Chorus despite Chorus being spun up like 2 months ago. There are people who will not be satisfied unless I file and win a defamation suit. And otherwise, they have just said, this must be true, and haven't even come and asked me about it. Now, I don't know that a lot of people I'm hearing from were really
Also, yeah, why would you even still continue giving money to a guy who's making $8K a month? I mean,
my core supporters anyway.
the way that a lot of, I think, audience members see it, it's like, oh, well, you clearly value like corporal money more than you value us. So why would I continue giving you money?
And we're going to get to that a little bit later in the show. But I want to again say, Chorus is not involved in content creation. They're not involved in content creation. They don't direct content. They don't pay for content. They don't subsidize content. They don't sponsor content. They don't restrict content. They don't require anything in terms of content of creators. They've never suggested, David, why don't you do this story? Or David, why don't you stay away from this story? That it just doesn't exist. It's a scholarship and support incubator for creators.
Gone, people.
Sorry, Marlboros are gone, people. It's a scholarship now, dude. He is only, what, 30-something years young, getting his first scholarship ever, okay? Contraman, thank you for the 50 gift subs. Can we get some let's goes in chat? If you got gifted, you better say thank you right now, or fucking else. Or else I'll shave Wormy. Yep. It's true. I'll do it. She'll be furless. I'm gonna take her to the vet and I'm gonna be like, can you guys shave her? They're gonna be like, what? They're gonna be like, yeah, can you shave her? Why? Did she have like matting? No, just shave her. And then she'll just sit there and she'll just have her little paws, her little socks, and her head, and then the rest of her will be shaved, and she'll be like, Mow. Contra, thank you for the 50. Thank you. It's generous of you. Thanks.
There are very small channels. There are larger creators like Aaron Parnas and I. The idea here is grow the left-wing ecosystem. Now,
no, not grow the left-wing ecosystem. Grow the liberal, especially liberal Zionist ecosystem.
Because of a misleading article and even more confused commentary from other creators who simply read the article, in some cases misunderstood it, went on and did stories about it, some people have decided to cancel the David Pakman show. I don't know how to fix that part yet. What we have here is Brian Tyler Cohen coming out and raising money for a project he doesn't take a penny from. It's not nefarious subterfuge of any kind. It's Brian. Of course I supported it because I know Brian and I know his intentions, and it's a great thing. Now, maybe the worst part of this is that other creators, some, although most now are kind of like, there's no story here, but some creators in the first 48 hours took the Wired story and expanded it with even more outrageous claims, suggesting that it's APAC or IPAC. I don't even know how it's pronounced, APAC.
It's so brutal for me because on the one hand, I want to be like, what a terrible joke. Like, what a two-head joke. Like, truly, genuinely amazing. But on the other hand,
30-year-old NML.
I want to start treating men on the internet the way that everybody treats women on the internet and be like, there's no way he could have been making a joke. He had to be serious. He had to be a serious idiot to do this, which I think I'm leaning towards that option.
IPAC, that is funding this show or other creators. Of course, not true.
Also, that's not what Taylor Lorenz did not say that. The Wired article did not say that. If people were saying that you're funded by AIPAC, they were probably saying it kind of tongue-in-cheek because you refuse to call what's happening in Gaza a genocide. You refuse to even talk about Israel because you obviously fucking desperately want to defend Israel for some obscene reason.
NC is involved. Not true. The result is that a lot of people in my audience have become confusedly furious with me, and some have canceled memberships. It takes years to build enough trust with someone that they say, I'm going to pay for this, and it takes seconds for them to cancel it.
That's so sad. You should have thought about that before you accepted $8,000 that you weren't going to disclose to your audience. Because it takes seconds to lose that contract. And it can take months to build yourself up to the ability to get $8,000 a month. And you should have thought about that. Also, the way that he's insulting his audience still now, like confusedly furious. Like, wow, it can't possibly be that they thought clear-headed for the first time since watching your channel and thought, no, I don't feel very confused. I feel very annoyed that you wouldn't disclose this information. And I guarantee you, the people that were giving money to David Pakman, they didn't even, I promise you, they do not give a fuck that Democrats were paying him. They care that, one, he's lying to them right now, and two, he accepted the money without disclosing it to them.
Have unsubscribed from YouTube and other platforms. People are now, there are people now, not just hoping for us to fail, but monitoring to see if we do have the failure. I don't want to let those people have the
So you're making a video talking about how you're losing subs because you posted cringe?
Satisfaction. So we estimate about 6,000 YouTube subscribers out of 3.
What is Some people, I guess, were just not meant to roll around in the mud. Because how do you say, I don't want to give these people the satisfaction? So, anyways, this is all of the subs that I lost. Here's all the money that I lost. Here's how my life is going worse now. But I don't want these guys to win and feel like they're winning against me and that I'm failing. So, as I was saying, my wife is going to leave me. Like,
3-something million, about 6,000 YouTube subscribers have canceled. Now, during the same period of time, 5,000 have signed up, but 6,000 have canceled. I'm not asking them to come back. Many of them have made their decision. If they decide to come back, great. What I am asking is, if you're a regular watcher on YouTube and you're not subscribed, there's about 4 million of you, consider subscribing. If you listen to the audio podcast, you don't watch on YouTube, but you have a Google account, consider subscribing. If you watch on TikTok, consider subscribing on YouTube. There's no downside, there's no cost. And of course, remember that this show primarily is funded by direct memberships at joinpakman.com.
even the website sounds like it's for a pack. Alternatively, chat, you could instead use a Prime sub and give me money directly from Jeff Bezos's pockets, and that actually will cost you nothing. And I actually am independent. My only sponsor is Mayor Cat, who tells me everything to say and to think. But I think everybody knows that, and it's kind of obvious. So I didn't feel like I needed to disclose that my cat has all of the political opinions of this channel. That one just like, right, obviously, Mayor Pack. We are we are funded primarily by user subs and not my 17 sponsors, including that big one.
Now let's get to the defamation issue. Over the last few days, I've consulted with some of the top defamation attorneys.
Start goving.
True. Get that Huel sponsorship, dude. I need to get that. I need to get that so bad. Maybe I'll reach out to them this weekend. Lickety Spiff, thank you for the Prime. Mr. Perry, thank you for the 20 months. Firepuff, thank you for the 16. Z, thank you for the 30. Strawman, thank you for the gift sub. To Gubs. Rayscan, thank you for this 4 months. Thank you guys. Sorry, I missed a bunch earlier.
In the country, lawyers who have won some of the largest verdicts, I think, in U.S. history. And one thing I appreciate about good lawyers is they give you the full story up front. And most lawyers I've dealt with discourage litigation. They give you all the downsides. If you go to a lawyer and they go, oh, this is a slam dunk, let's start litigation tomorrow, I've learned to be skeptical of those lawyers. And most lawyers try to talk you out of litigation unless you, number one, really understand what you're getting into, and number two, you really want to do it. Now, I have not decided as of this moment whether to file a lawsuit. I'm not even going to name potential defendants in this segment. There's no reason to, but there would be multiple. If I were successful, the upside in theory would be I've cleared my name, at least in some generic sense, and that would be great. But there are some significant downsides to getting involved in that. Number one is the cost. Unless you're in a highly public situation like the Sandy Hook parents suing Alex Jones or some of these other scenarios, you're not going to get a lawyer to take the case on contingency, meaning you start paying legal fees immediately. And I've been advised this could take 6 figures in legal fees just to get to the end without even a guarantee of getting the money back, right?
More importantly, they didn't lie about anything. That's why even when they reached out to that guy Wilson and they were like, hey, would you like to comment? No reply, nothing to say, no comment. And then after it came out, he was like, wait, I do want to comment about Chorus. Okay, let me just say. Everything you said is true, but you forgot to add, because you didn't ask me, you did ask for a comment, I just didn't reach out. You forgot to mention that they were allowed to take money from other companies. We did allow them to do that. Could you add that in? I think me now commenting and not disproving anything you said and adding some random arbitrary comment that nobody cares about will make a big difference. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Basically disproven, like, what? Also, again, note how all of the hatred and all of the smearing is towards Taylor Lorenz and not towards Wired.
I mean, hopefully you win, but winning can depend even on technicalities like what states are these lawsuits filed in. So that's the first consideration. Secondly, a case like this probably takes 12 to 18 months. And I'll admit, it would be extraordinarily stressful. I am not litigious by nature. I think all of you know that. I've never sued anybody. It would be stressful. It would be
I love
time
the idea of being litigious by nature. Just pop out the womb with a briefcase.
consuming. It would, remember, I have a newborn at home. And it also
What is this sympathy farming?
likely would take me away from the show. And so part of it is have a conversation with my audience. Is it best for the show? Is the audience best served by 12 to 18 months of litigation instead of just focusing on the show and for focusing on the baby? And then number 3 is the reality of the outcome. Imagine that it takes 15 months and I win, right? Imagine I win. Maybe there's a financial settlement, maybe not. But even then, the damage, to the extent that there will be damage, is mostly going to be done. Am I really going to go 15 months from now and show the people that did abandon the show right now the victory? And are they then going to come back? And, you know, most defamation cases don't even go to trial. They end in a settlement. The settlement often includes that no one can talk about the settlement. So it's also like, if at the end of all of that, 6 figures in legal fees and all of this, if there is a settlement, okay, I get some money, but is it even really the public victory that might help from a publicity standpoint, especially if it's a settlement no one's allowed to talk about? So that's what I'm contending with right now. The damage, the possibilities of a defamation lawsuit, the effect on my audience, the effect on the business.
Translation. He's not going to sue anyone. It'd be such a fucking stupid decision to sue anyone. Reputational harm for what? Because someone exposed that you take money from this fucking org without disclosing it to your audience? Like, that's not, this is just like trying to show off to his audience and be like, guys, what they said is really untrue. And you can trust me because I'm talking about this. Okay? All right?
So I want to hear from you. That's really everything I have to say right now. The really good news is that most of the people that are outraged by this aren't even in my audience. And I have to remember that. And that actually leads to the next thing I want to talk about, which is a sort of broader discussion of what's happening right now on the left.
The left. The left. All right. You know, for someone who says he doesn't take Democrat money, he sure talks and sounds like a Democrat. He sure talks and walks like a duck. Lawyers probably just told him he has no case. He's coming up for justifications why he can't sue. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. How many people left Pakman once he became a giant Zionist since October 7th? I mean, more realistically, small, tiny correction. Not became one, but was ousted as one. Or outed as one. Because he couldn't help himself. Well, I think I showed it to you guys, some of you, yesterday.
On the progressive movement. And the reason
This is from like a year ago, which, by the way, I called this the moment that he went out and was like, I am not funded by dark money. And if I am, anyways, that was the whole video. This is all, this article has been completely debunked. Anyways, and I said from the very beginning, realistically, like, I believe him when he says that he didn't change his content at all. They were almost certainly just paying him so that he could increase his reach, because he's already saying every single liberal Zionist talking point that the Democratic Party wants.
The reason I want to talk to you about this is I see you really, when people ask me, who do you see right now as the sort of progressive that you like to be at the head of this movement going forward? I think of you, and there's a bunch of different reasons why. And unfortunately,
he thinks of Richie Torres when he thinks of the head of the progressive movement. That's correct. You heard all of that correct.
There is right now a bit of a division, as I see it, on the left on a number of issues. That includes foreign policy. Certainly, the Israeli-Gaza situation has brought this into the forefront for a lot of people
AITA
on the
command.
progressive movement. And the reason I want to talk to you about this is I see you really, when people ask me, who do you see right now as the sort of progressive that you like to be at the head of this movement going forward? I think of you, and there's a bunch of different.
But wait, there's more. Wait, where'd I put it? Hey, who moved my clips around? Here it is.
In the US, wanting to look at disproportionate and unfair prosecution and incarceration of Black Americans. But you also know that I will call things out when they aren't quite right. This includes me calling out protest tactics that were counterproductive to the Black Lives Matter cause. This includes looking more deeply at broad statements like Black people are more likely to be shot by police and seeing what the data really tell us. I've been slammed for this. I've been called a white supremacist for this. But I'm not going to, as a result of that, do 100% gushing commentary about any particular group when there are critiques to make. Now, I'm going to get slammed today, too, and I'm ready for it. Black Lives Matter put out a letter, a platform, effectively, and it includes support of the Israeli BDS movement. This is a platform which, in addition to calling for the boycott, divestment, and sanctions of Israel, it called Israel an apartheid state. It says that Israel is committing genocide against the Palestinians, and it said that the fight of Black Lives Matter for Black American equality in the U.S. is the same as the fight for Palestinian rights. I've told you before that Black Lives Matter was hinting at drawing parallels between their battle and what they see as the situation in Israel. And I've told you it makes no sense empirically, nor from an optics point of view, to be perfectly honest. They have jumped full speed ahead. Now, I know that when you hear support BDS, end colonialism, end the genocide, stop the apartheid, it sounds like a lot. Wow, that's a really overpowering case. What if we break it down into its component parts? Well, you quickly see that it makes absolutely no sense.
The liberal brain cannot comprehend being anti-colonialism. This makes no sense. I'm sorry. You want no colonialism, no imperialism? That makes no sense. Wait, I'm sorry. I think you might not know something. The people in Palestine are brown. That should change things for you. It doesn't. What do you mean it doesn't change anything for you? It should. It should change something for you. Like, what the fuck? Oh my God, dude. This clip is so amazing. Can we watch it again? Is that too far? Is it too far for me to want to watch this again? Did you see all the times he talked about Linda Sarsour and Ilhan / Rashida? I mean, it's very like, this really is like peak, like NIMBY, peak white liberal. Just like, I'm okay with these people as long as they, you know, stay in their lane. As long as they stay in their lane. All right? Hey,
Pete
you
Shidlam.
uneducated people. You uneducated African Americans. Did you consider you know nothing about Israel, Palestine? And I'll have you know, Israel's only killed a couple hundreds of thousands of innocent people. Okay, it's really not that many. It's really not. It's like, what the fuck? What the fuck? All this for a measly 5K payout? Dude, all this, he got 8K. Okay, all right, excuse you. 8K a month, all right? Just to get permanent reputational harm. That was like the worst investment of all time. Sorry, I'm like, I love these people so much. These like, this type of moron. Yeah, let's let all the brown people run the country. What could possibly go wrong? Saying this as our country is actively being destroyed by white people is definitely a choice. Now, I don't think it's white people's fault. I think it's rich billionaires' fault. But you can't deny they are white. Like, I'm sorry. Trump is, I mean, okay, Trump is orange, to be fair. But he's losing a lot of his color. And admittedly, RFK Jr. is now technically white, but he does have the texture and color currently of a football, which I will happily show all of you so you can understand. So admittedly, those two, now again, they are technically white. They just don't look very white. But saying this while our country is actively being destroyed by white people is like hilarious. Shitting on brown people as our country is losing its entire fucking, all of its power because of white people is like, hell, it's just amazing. It's just incredible. It's more like a cooked turkey. I can see that. Basically, the assumption of most liberals is to assume the inferiority of indigenous governments where, whenever. It's like, you know, I don't understand white supremacists. I mean, I don't understand any type of supremacy, but I really don't understand white supremacists because, like, what are you proud of? The Black Plague? Stealing every single fucking invention? Like, what the fuck are you even like? I can understand, honestly, China and the people in China having Chinese supremacy. That can at least make sense to me because I'm like, the Chinese Empire has been around for quite literally thousands of years. And they have contributed way more over the course of history than like most other civilizations, just by pure but just by the sheer duration of time that the empire has existed. So I can at least look at that and be like, that makes sense to me. Okay. I think but like white people doesn't even make sense. It's like, as a white American, when you look at like the GIFs online of like, this is what white culture is, and it's like some fucking Austrian chick playing the piano. It's like, you know, if you said that was white culture, they would spit in your face and say, no, this is Austrian culture. Like all of these people that you think you can group as like European culture and white culture and whatever, none of these people would agree with you. None. Look at this person. White people invented civilization. Yeah. And what the fuck are you, the most uncivilized person to ever exist?
Inventor of the capri pant and Nazi hunter Bunny Rogers. Link.
Oh, God. Oh, my God, dude. Reminds me of the dipshit on Twitter talking about white statues and the statue was made by an Asian woman. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I didn't even see this one. Do you get $8,000 a month by showing your butthole online? Okay, this is obviously a child. Obviously. Obviously. Yeah. Incredible. Well, do you? Excuse you, chat. Marketing 101. Never give away the trade. All right? I don't know. Why don't you find out? I don't know. Why don't you find out? Think, chat. Think. Think. Oh, my God. Anyways. Can we watch this again, though?
You know that I support the broader goals of Black Lives Matter.
Oh, so sorry. Yeah. Talking about white people and civilization. Yeah, the historically white Mesopotamians invented civilization. Oh, God.
Wanting real racial justice in the U.S., wanting to look at disproportionate and unfair prosecution and incarceration of Black Americans. But you also know that I will call things out when they aren't quite right. This includes me calling out protest tactics that were counterproductive to the Black Lives Matter cause. This includes looking more deeply at broad statements like Black people are more likely to be shot by police and seeing what the data really tell us. I've been slammed for this. I've been called a white supremacist for this. But I'm not going to, as a result of that, do 100% gushing commentary about any particular group when there are critiques to make. Now, I'm going to get slammed today, too, and I'm ready for it. Black Lives Matter put out a letter, a platform, effectively, and it includes support of the Israeli BDS movement. This is a platform which in addition to calling for the boycott, divestment, and sanctions of Israel, it called Israel an apartheid state. It says that Israel is committing genocide against the Palestinians, and it said that the fight of Black Lives Matter for Black American equality in the US is the same as the fight for Palestinian rights. I've told you before that Black Lives Matter was hinting at drawing parallels between their battle and what they see as the situation in Israel. And I've told you it makes no sense empirically, nor from an optics point of view, to be perfectly honest. They have jumped full speed ahead. Now, I know that when you hear support BDS, end colonialism, end the genocide, stop the apartheid, it sounds like a lot. Wow, that's a really overpowering case. What if we break it down into its component parts? Well, you quickly see that it makes absolutely no sense.
The funniest part about all of this is like he really paid he really got paid $8,000 to suffer insane reputational harm and a bunch of people pulling up old clips of him saying awful shit. Because, like, if not for the $8,000 that he accepted, I would have never seen this clip because there never would have been a good reason to recirculate something like this. And I mean, I already called this from day one. It's like, sorry, I called this the moment that the article came out. It's like he was obviously just getting paid because they thought, oh, perfect. We don't even need to tell you what to say. Great. Just keep saying the shit you're saying. I didn't consciously realize it until just now, but it's funny these LARPers talk about how white people built Rome and yet they simultaneously don't consider Italians or Greeks white. Well, no, they consider them white, but neither Italians nor Greek people would consider themselves white. That's the funniest part of it. Like talking about white culture and being like, oh my God, white culture. White culture is when civilization, when invention, when democracy, when, and then meanwhile, it's like, if you spoke to any Greek person and told them they're white, like they would give you a death glare. I mean, look at Chris Cuomo talking about being Italian. They would want to kill you if you said that. And you haven't spoken to enough Greek people or Italian people if you think that that's not true. I know you're just memeing, chatter. What do you mean the Romans weren't white? How do you explain all the statues? But I know you're just memeing, but the funniest thing about all the statues is that they were painted these unbelievably gaudy colors and it just like wore off over the course of many, obviously, centuries. Just like rain. The elements. But yeah, they were painted. No, I know you know, chatter. I know you know. Your vibes are good. But that's the best part of it. The best part of it is like the white sculpture. This represents whiteness. Meanwhile, the second that they could, they painted that shit so crazy. Oh, God. All right. Anyways. Wait. Oh, my God. Oh, God.
Of Representatives. Her first tweet was a quote of Glenn Greenwald's with the note added saying it's all about the Benjamin's baby. And the tweet from Glenn Greenwald was about Republican leader Kevin McCarthy threatening punishment for Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib over criticisms of Israel. And what Ilhan Omar responded with was, it's all about the Benjamin's baby, meaning that the reason Kevin McCarthy is threatening them is because of money related to Israel. Okay, we'll get to that in a second. Many people saw nothing wrong with this, but as we've seen a number of worthy commentators mention, including normal Trump critic Brian Klass, this is a reference to an anti-Semitic trope. When it comes to Israel, it's all about Jewish money from the U.S. in defense of Israel. But that same logic isn't applied to other countries and people of other national origins. When American Muslims are questioned about whether their loyalty is to the U.S. or to their country of family origin, for example, whether it's Pakistan or Saudi Arabia or whatever, we say that's Islamophobic, rightly so. But when the same is said about the influence of American Jewish money on politics, it's Israel, and we're supposed
American Jewish money.
To pretend like these aren't just two sides of the same coin. Now, I'll get to Kevin McCarthy in this in a second, but let's look at the second tweet from Ilhan Omar first. In her second tweet, she quotes someone named Batia Ungar Sargon, I don't know who that is, who said, would love to know who Ilhan Omar thinks is paying American politicians to be pro-Israel.
though I think I can guess. Bad form, Congresswoman. That's the second anti-Semitic trope you've tweeted. And Ilhan Omar quoted that tweet and said,
It is really funny, like, pulling up her based moments, her wins, and being like, is this you? Is this you criticizing a politician for taking AIPAC money?
AIPAC. The problem here for people who don't get it is the implication that Americans support Israel because of money, period, as opposed to a host of other considerations, which we can debate whether they're worthy or not. The conspiracy that all of this refers to is the idea of Jewish money as a tool for global domination, including the control of American elected officials like Kevin McCarthy. But here's the most important thing, and this seems to be missing from most of the arguments I'm seeing about this on the internet. Even if you disagree that the tweets are furthering anti-Semitic tropes, that's fine. The argument is not valid because this all started as a criticism of Kevin McCarthy, who received $0 from AIPAC associates in 2018. So it's just literally factually wrong. McCarthy was among the Republicans who were spreading anti-Semitic conspiracy theories about George Soros paying for the migrant caravan, which of course wasn't true. So I'm not defending McCarthy here. He's horrible. I've been criticizing the guy for years. What I'm pointing out is that at a logistical level, at a factual level, the criticism of McCarthy as a sort of tool of the Israeli lobby in the United States is not backed by evidence. He received no donations from pro-Israel PACs in 2018, and this just invalidates even the idea of the tweet. Now, is Ilhan Omar personally anti-Semitic? I have no idea. I don't think this by...
Is Ilhan Omar. He's not even saying Ilhan Omar. He's saying Ilhan Omar. Is she anti-Semitic? I don't know.
Itself is evidence of that. But it's still destructive, not only because anti-Semitism is bad and playing up these stereotypes is not a good thing, but it forces other Democrats to have to denounce her comments, which just gets in the way of Democrats getting things accomplished. Whether or not Ilhan Omar is anti-Semitic, Nancy Pelosi puts out a statement saying this is bad. She needs to apologize. Chuck Schumer tweets that this is irresponsible and offensive and anti-Semitic. And then Ilhan Omar ends up apologizing and more political capital is spent on this nonsense. So what?
And who's spending the political capital, you fucking shit for brains? It's almost like libs have always attacked the left. So weird. Must be a coincidence.